Hey y'all, I'm Tim. Welcome to the MrMaple Show.
Hey everybody, Happy New Year. Welcome to the 10 at 10 for January 3rd of 2023. Wow, it's already saying that. Guys, I'm Matt. We've got a great show for you here today on the MrMaple Show. We're coming in soon on a full year of a video every single day of the year. So that's going to happen sometime in late February.
That's crazy.
We're going to hit an episode here on the MrMaple Show for every single day for an entire year.
That is insane. Right. I mean, that's a lot of work, but we appreciate everybody who likes, subscribes, shares our videos, gets involved in the live chat. There's a great community there. If you're not involved, get involved. And as always, we appreciate everyone too who shops with us on MrMaple.com, who allows us to be able to put these videos out.
Yeah, guys, we put a lot of work into these from the podcast to the show. So if it's something you're liking, definitely reward us with subbing our channel. It goes a long way into rewarding us for the work we're putting in. So let's get into this 10 at 10 for January 3rd of 2023. Mine's already exploding saying that I'm going to be writing it wrong until at least June. But let's get into it today. We've got a great lineup for you. I think you're going to like what we're bringing to you in 2023.
So let's start off down here with Emmett's Pumpkin. I mean, Emmett's Pumpkin is a fantastic plant. It's got those really big Acer Japonica leaves and some pumpkin orange fall color.
Yeah, I like this one. Much like Blushing Beauty and Akamote, this one kind of has a blushing color in the spring too. It can often have some nice orange shades over top of that large Japonicum style foliage. Now, I find this to be one of the most vigorous Japonicums as well. So get this one out, let it do its thing. It's typically over a foot to even a foot and a half in that kind of range a year. It's been my fastest growing Acer Japonicum in our display garden by far that I've ever seen. So if a lot of you love Acer Japonicums, but you want one that gets out there a little quicker, think about Emmett's Pumpkin. It's a great choice for that.
And those big round leaves do turn to the pumpkin orange in the fall, where it gets the name of Emmett's Pumpkin. I mean, love the Acer Japonicums, everything they bring. Check out our full series on the Acer Japonicums. We've got a really neat series of part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, and you know, there may even be part 5 and more on the Acer Japonicums, where you can go and hear about how many cool Acer Japonicums are out there. And Emmett's Pumpkin is definitely one of those.
Guys, we shot so much crazy content in 2022. We still have in-leaf content dropping this week on the MrMaple Show that we shot back in fall. So when you're watching this one live, there's still in-leaf content here on the MrMaple Show.
That's crazy.
And we've already got gardens lined up for spring too, some big ones. So next up on the table, we've got Hubble Super Cork. So shout out to Scott Hubble down there in Texas. Scott is the owner now at MrMaples. He took over for our good friend Keith Johansson, and both Scott and Keith are good buddies of ours. Got to get up with Keith. He's still in Italy, but we need to do a podcast with him on some of those truncatums coming up.
Yeah, we definitely do. And Hubble Super Cork, if you like the pine bark types, I mean, check out our full video on the pine barks. We've got a really cool series on that. But Hubble Super Cork really has some really nice corky bark to it. I mean, it gives you some nice winter interest, and it's probably one of the corkiest barks of any of the pine bark types.
Right. Scott selected this one because it's one of the very first trees to have that cork-like bark at a young age, so it does cork up very quickly. Scott's a big expert in bonsai, loves bonsai, and this one's very popular for bonsai just for that very reason. It kind of gets a nice older effect to the bark. You can even see on our 1 gallons, they're starting to get around those joints some fissured, starting on that corking, and that'll just get more and more intense. So it's not uncommon for this plant, even in a 5 or 7 gallon, to look super old. So it's going to be popular for bonsai. Now these are grafted. You could always air layer off of them if you're a purist for bonsai, but it's a great starting point. You can get this one in the ground and make many bonsai projects off of it for sure.
That's a definite. Love that plant. Very unusual and very different. So next up, we've got a cool one.
Yeah, this one's Acer palmatum Uzunishki.
Yeah, Ujinishki has some really nice, almost like purple-like border in the spring with white speckling throughout the leaf. I mean, the variegation on this is crazy awesome.
Guys, this is one of my favorite variegated plants. Probably hear me say it a lot. I love variegated plants, but we're starting out 2023 with some fireworks. Uzunishki will often have a border to an Ukigumo-like eye in the early spring. So when it first flushes, it gets this unreal color. It's one of the most intense forms of almost an Oregano times Ukigumo style variegation. So kind of a way to describe this one.
And it really gets some really nice striping in the bark too. That's always a good indicator on a lot of variegated plants to how variegated the plant's going to be.
Yeah.
One of the things I really like about Uzunishki is the fact that the variegation often shows up on the older wood as well.
Yeah, this one's super colorful. Now, another thing I like about this one, as opposed to Radiant, not that that one's on today's 10 at 10, but it may be a pairing today with those. This one actually has a more multi-stemmed branching to it as well. So it tends to be a little bit wider and a little bit shorter than Radiant.
Oh yeah, love that plant.
All right, guys, next up here on the table, we've got Yellow Cascade.
You know I love the yellows, and you've got a weeping butter yellow Japanese maple. Love what Yellow Cascade does. Newer selection by our good friend Talon Buchholz.
Now, we haven't staked these up, so you can play with them for the hanging basket, folks. It's a fun one either way. You can always stake a central leader. The easiest time to stake a Japanese maple like this is going to be in mid-March to like late April. The sap's high in them, they're more flexible, and you can bend central leaders to your whims however you want. They're very malleable, so you can shape them a good bit during that time. Basically, Yellow Cascade is going to be one of the most butter yellow forms of Ryusen or Ryusei. So it has that Ryusei-like weeping habit to it. Excellent tree to be growing. It's one I've loved. We have some gorgeous specimens of this outside of our office. We actually did a full video breakdown on that, so definitely check out our full video on Yellow Cascade. We have some big high graphs out there.
We did so many videos in 2022. Right. Check out Matt's video on how to stake a Japanese maple. Or if you're wanting to put this in a hanging basket, check out our video on how to grow a Japanese maple in a hanging basket. If you can check out the full cultivar on Yellow Cascade.
Right.
I mean, we've got videos on yellow Japanese maples.
Right.
I mean, there's so many cool videos related to this plant alone that you can check out on our YouTube channel.
So we have another one here next that we don't have any videos on. So maybe we'll go on to this one because we don't have any videos about this plant right here. Now, a lot of you have been waiting on this one to get back in stock.
Acer Roof Nerve Sunshine.
This plant's crazy. Awesome variegated snake bark. This one is probably my favorite variegated snake bark. I mean, it's intense. It's got everything you want and high drama from bark interest to amazing variegation.
Now, it has a very thick yellow border. It starts off as a green and then gets more and more prominent as a bold yellow with a green center. I mean, the variegation on this is super unique, very different, and sunshine will definitely light up your garden with that variegation.
Now, I've heard of people in Europe growing this one in more sun conditions, especially with the name. I definitely recommend some late day shade. I'm here in Western North Carolina and mine gets a little bit of frost sometimes. I think that may be the case more in the sun. I'm gonna move it to a little bit shadier location so it's getting some early morning sun, late day shade. I think that might be the ideal condition for this one. Again, I have heard of people in Europe really pushing it for sunlight with this one.
Now, we'll tell you something really cool about these plants. Often people don't like snakebark rootstock. They sort of sometimes will curl around themselves. Well, these are grafted onto Acer truncatums, which have a very healthy root system. So you've got a tree that doesn't seem like it should graft on at all, but makes a great rootstock for Acer Roof Nerve Sunshine.
Now, our goal here with these also is that they'll be a little more vigorous for us here in the South. So put them on an Acer truncatum, a little bit more vigorous of a rootstock. A little bit of an experiment, but they certainly have a great take together. And I think you're going to like the effects of this. We've seen good results so far putting snake barks on Acer truncatum.
And I've seen some really large Acer snake barks on Acer truncatum. I started seeing people do it and it just blew my mind because it doesn't seem like it should work, but it definitely works and makes a really great plant for the landscape.
I think it's going to improve a lot of the snake barks for people here in the South too.
I think so too.
Gosh, we brought the variegation this time. Next we've got Acer palmatum, Sweet Lorraine.
So this is a reticulated lace leaf.
Yeah, it's a low weeping kind of mounding form. Great variegation to this. I'm a huge fan. Tim and I wonder if we didn't help Talon name this when we were at Talon Buchholz's place a couple years ago, and he had an area where he had some unnamed seedlings, and we went up to a couple of them and we went, I want this. And he goes, wait, that might still be an evaluation. So it kind of went back in an evaluation area after that. And we always wondered if that was the one that became Sweet Lorraine.
I think Sweet Lorraine and Mini Lace, which are both reticulated types, came out
at least that seedling set.
Yeah.
At least that similar sister seedling to this, what we were looking at. It's an intense, reticulated, variegated lace leaf. Like, what more could you ask for? Consider this one a Ghost X lace leaf. I mean, awesome looking plant.
And these are going to be small 1 gallons because Sweet Lorraine is an extremely slow grower. I mean, these are all 2-year 1 gallons, but they will be on the smaller side because this is a true dwarf. Give it some protection from the hot afternoon sun. This is a plant that I'm expecting it to be around that 3 foot in height and width in 10 years, at least in our area. giving it some protection from the hot afternoon sun. But these are some really, really nice, slow-growing, weeping, variegated Japanese maples that's unusual, and they're very different. They stand out from a lot of the other plants.
Guys, this is going to be a great plant for a container garden, especially a porch or patio, where you got a little more late-day shade, and you're wanting some high drama and a small plant that's not going to outgrow your container too quickly. Think about Sweet Lorraine. I think it's perfect for the fairy garden or small container garden setting.
There's a lot of variegation on this.
It's an extremely variegated one.
If you consider yellow of variegation, the only two plants that aren't variegated on this table are Emmett's Pumpkin and Hubble Supercore.
Uh-oh. Okay, we've got a lot going on here.
So next up, we've got Acer palmatum Ukigumo, the floating clouds Japanese maple.
Guys, Ukigumo is always popular on our website. Check out our video on the best tips for making Ukigumo bright white in your location. We give you some good tips and break down how to get the most out of this one. It is one of the most highly sought after maples. I always let people know the white can be inconsistent, so that's why we do that tips video, to give you the best success with that. It has an amazing orangey red fall color though every single season. It's an excellent plant to be growing. One of the things I always recommend, leafing it out slowly as possible. You'll get your best color. If it's a slow to leaf, you don't want to over fertilize it, and you want to get it to leaf out very slowly. Awesome plant to be growing though. I think we already used the extremely variegated 10 at 10, so we're going to have to think of something else for this, but this one could fit the bill.
Yeah, this is a crazy variegated 10 at 10 for sure. Ukigumo, just giving you some really nice white colors out in the landscape. The whites pair with the yellows, the reds, the greens, everything out in the landscape. The years that it doesn't give you white, it still gives you really good fall color. And so this is a great tree for the landscape. And then when the years that it gives you that white, it just gives you something extra.
Another classic one from the new ghost here. Guys, we're bringing back Acer palmatum Jubilee.
Yeah, selection by our friend Talon Buchholz. This plant really has some really nice sort of pink-red reticulated variegation with some really nice green veins. One of those plants, give it some protection from the hot afternoon sun to really keep those veins to the max. If you give it some morning sun, afternoon shade, you're really going to peak up the colors on this plant and hold it for the longest period of time. But this is a plant that's probably one of those small to mid-size of the new ghost. It's not a really tall tree. Typically has a semi-cascading habit, but still upright. And one of my ones that really stands out, I mean, it's one of those party. Yeah. I mean, we got Celebration, you got Jubilee.
Right. Part of the party series. I would definitely recommend putting this one somewhere up close to the house where you can enjoy it, get out and enjoy that variegation. This is going to pair amazingly with the original form of Peaches and Cream. Think of it kind of in that kind of vein. It's an amazing color pattern. It's also very multi-stemmed, like Tim was saying. That semi-weeping habit is almost more multi-stemmed and dense, so it does tend to be a little fuller than some of the other ghosts for us.
Yeah, where something like Pastel seems to be a little more upright for us, this one is a little more shrub-like. Definitely gets almost equally width as it is tall, and is a slower grower when it comes to those new ghost types. Next up, we've got the Golden Full Moon Japanese Maple, Acer Shirasawanum Aureum.
Guys, always popular, some great sizes in Aureum. I definitely recommend some late day shade for this one. This would be a very fun one to pair off the Sweet Lorraine or something like that Jubilee. It's going to bring high intensity yellows, and you know the yellows really accentuate a lot of the other colors with Japanese maples. So this one's going to pair well with a lot of the other plants on the table. Really fun plant. Doesn't want to be in full sun in the deep south. You definitely want to give it some late day shade in the deep south, but an awesome Japanese maple. One of our most popular trees we offer. Check out our full video we did at St. John's the Wilderness. We did an update so we could show you a specimen of Acer Shirasawanum Aureum.
Now, Acer Shirasawanum Aureum is one of those plants that I like to put out in a container. And I like to find its sweet spot out in the garden. Find the spot where it really likes it before I plant it out in the landscape. It makes a great container plant as well. But when you find the right spot for Shirasawanum Aureum, it gives you just some amazing yellows that really peak and really brighten up everywhere in your garden. That full moon leaf and that bright yellow color. Yeah,
this is one of those larger Shirasawanums, likely before a lot of the hybrids. This one has a lot of that, what you like about that larger full moon style leaf. It's one of the bigger full moon, one of the more rounder full moon style leaves. Awesome plant to be growing, and it's one that I think every Japanese maple collector's got to at least have an Aureum in their collection. It's a classic. It's been around. I know Cord said that the original one came to his nursery there at Esfeld Plantinium in I think the 1800s, so it's been around a minute. I got to see that original one. The story went that Seabold actually sailed up on the shore and threw the plant there to Cor Van Gelderen there, or not hit Cor, but Cor's grandfather there at Esveld Plantinium. Cor's not quite that old. We're going to have him on the podcast soon. Good friend of mine. So shout out to Cor Van Gelderen.
But this plant is a classic, but it's still one of the most amazing plants. I love how this has that really full moon leaf. I mean, it has got that more circular leaf that looks like a moon out there in the landscape and garden. And with that bright yellow color, golden full moon is the perfect common name for this plant. Next up, we're bringing them head to head, Uzunishki and Radiant.
So yeah, we've got Radiant in there today. Now, I might give a slight edge to Radiant just because we have gigantic sizes. You know, we often say this is indicative of what we have right now. If you see them later, they might be larger or smaller. I can guarantee you if we have larger than this, they're probably going into 3 gallons or 2 gallons. These are big size ones. So
they really should be in a 2 or 3.
Right. Scoop these up. They're huge. We might have to even fold a few of these or trim a few of them to get them in the boxes. These are massive. So these are gigantic size ones. Great start for Radiant for you. Now, I love Radiant. It's one of the most intense pink splotching forms where this one really shows out. It's a highly intense form of that Ujinishki style variegation with a ton of intense pink and white splotches.
Yeah, the intensity this one has on the pink and white is just outstanding. I mean, I can go around and take a million photographs. This is one of those plants that a photographer is going to love because every photo is going to look different.
Every week it's a little different.
And the leaves themselves just put on that intensity of pink in the spring with some of that white in there and the green. It's hard to say, is it green variegated with pink and white, or there's sometimes more variegation on it than there is green. So is it pink and white variegated with green?
This one's intense. It also gets some of that candy striping in the bark. I would describe it as more upright and more vigorous, as more of an upright tree than the Uzunishki. If you're looking for some distinct differences between the two, the Uzunishki tends to be more multi-stemmed and lower. There's some definite variegation differences when you're comparing them 1 to 1, but there are a lot of similarities as well. I think you're going to love this one for more of an upright tree form, a little bit more vigorous. Also a great red fall color on this one. Really good red fall color.
Yeah, excellent fall color on this for a variegated plant. I mean, it's a plant that gives you very consistent fall color almost every single season. And just love this plant, what it does out there in the spring landscape. I mean, this has been a highly intense, dramatically variegated 10 to 10. I mean, which of these is your favorite? Put it in the comment section below. I mean, there's so many cool ones on this table. It'd be hard for me to pick.
Some of these are going to sell out pretty quickly. I'd probably say Sweet Lorraine. That's one of my favorites.
Sweet Lorraine is pretty awesome.
Nope, I lied. Sunshine. I'm changing mine. I'm going Sunshine. Sunshine's my favorite.
Sunshine's awesome. It's probably one of the most unique ones. But Arium's a classic, man. It's hard to beat Arium.
I have every one of these in my yard, by the way, so it really doesn't work. Like every one of these I have planted in my garden, so it really doesn't work for me to say this one's my only favorite. I would say I'm really big on Sunshine and Sweet Lorraine, though. Those would be 2 of my picks for quickest to sell out. Let us know in the comment section below what your favorite tree is in today's 10 at 10. Also, shout out to our international community. Guys, we can't ship to you, but we greatly appreciate you watching. Let us know in that comment section where you're watching from today. And please continue to subscribe. We're putting a lot of work in this channel. We want to grow it. And you can always reward us if you're enjoying this content with liking the videos, sharing them with your gardening friends, but most importantly, subscribing to the channel so we know that what we're doing is getting out there to folks. It's continuing to grow. That means so much to us. We have big plans for this channel in 2023. We've got a lot of really fun stuff planned. We're continuing to provide you with daily maple content. Who's crazy enough to do that but these guys? So if that's something you're in, definitely stick around because we're going to be doing a lot more of that.
Thank y'all so much. It's been an amazing year this past year, being able to put out so much fun content. I mean, when COVID first struck, Matt and I, all of our garden talks got canceled.
All right.
And this is our way to continue to talk to people about Japanese maples, and we really appreciate you all watching.
Take care.
God bless.
And have a great day.